reheat the food you reheated to feed them the second time, that's when you know you're winning the mom. Confession, I mostly love all things Disney, and I can't stand Kion from the Lion Guard. I think he's super annoying. So there's that thought. So it is like 4:30. It's actually like exactly 4:20. Hold on, I gotta find somewhere to put you. Okay, so I am sitting on the floor next to my bed because I'm so cool and official like that. But so I got a little bit of a macro bump today, which was exciting. Hold on, that light's still weird. It's a little better. And so I got a pretty big bump. I got 12 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fat. And so on its own, that's not a whole lot, but when you add it in to the rest of my food, it gives more wiggle room. And so right now I am at 242 grams of carbs and 72 grams of fat on my training days. So that's really exciting. So I have a couple pints of Halo Top sitting in my freezer, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fit in some Halo Top, and I generally like to eat like those low calorie ice creams. I like to eat them when I can add stuff onto them, so I'll save them up for days like that. And so I was messing with it, and I was using my MyFitnessPal, and my calories were showing super off, and it was bothering me. Now, I don't know if you know this, and I think I've talked about this before, but I have a lot of new people over on the channel, and so it's worth talking about again. Now, overall, creating a caloric deficit is like the most important thing, and then we can worry about balancing out the macros and stuff like that. So just counting calories is very useful if you're just trying to lose weight, and so just using that on my MyFitnessPal is a good thing. However, if you're using foods like Halo Top and protein bars and just packaged foods in general, they are allowed to be off, and I think it's like 25%. They can be 25% over or 25% under the number that they put on the label. And so that's why there's so many of these foods that are mysteriously exactly 100 calories in like this, in exactly 1 cup. And it, you know, it almost seems too good to be true. It's too easy for them to make a serving size that much and be this many calories. Well, that's because they have this wiggle room. And it's a lot of wiggle room. Like if we're talking something that's 100 calories and they can actually be 125, and then all day long, say you're trying to eat, well, just for easy numbers, say you're trying to eat 1,000 calories. And so you eat 10 different items that are all labeled to be 100 calories, and they're all 125 calories. Now we're off by 250 calories at the end of the day, and you're actually eating 25% more than you thought you were. And so if you go a step further, and now you are allowing MyFitnessPal to add in the exercise. Like if you log, oh, I went on a 10-minute run, and it tells you you burned 100 calories, and you're having that added into MyFitnessPal, and so it's reducing your 100 calories of activity from, or it's adding that in, saying that you can eat that because MyFitnessPal will do that, and now your day is all fucked up. So some of that probably didn't make any sense. So now I'm gonna show you on MyFitnessPal what makes me crazy, okay? So if we go in here and we find the chocolate Halo Top, okay? And we're gonna do the whole pint because for whatever reason, that's easier for me. Okay, so you can see it's 280 calories, 48 grams of carbs, 12 grams of fat, and 20 grams of protein. Okay, so I don't think I'll figure out a way to put this on the screen. But let's just do some quick math here, okay? Okay, so remember just a second ago, it said we had 48 grams of carbs times 4 calories per gram. 192 calories in the form of carbs, okay? So 192. Then we're going to take the 12 grams of fat times 9 calories is 108 plus 192. We're at 300 already, okay? And we haven't even counted the protein. The protein was 20 grams. Protein is also 4 calories per gram. So we're going to add in 380 calories. So here we have a situation where Halo Top is trying to tell me that if I eat a pint of their ice cream, it's going to be 280 calories. But if you add up the macros that they are providing, we're actually finding it's 100 calories over. And what some people will do is they'll do net carbs, which is the carb total minus the fiber, because they like to think that since not all fiber is digestible, then you don't have to count it. And I'm sure what they're also doing within this carb count, and I wouldn't know how to figure this out with their ingredients, but a lot of foods like Halo Top and protein bars and stuff like that use sugar substitutes or certain kinds of sweeteners that are also indigestible. And so they will deduct that from the calories. But, and I haven't read up all of the information on this, but you're still consuming those. And so I don't operate off of net carbs. I count the carbs from those sugars that are supposedly indigestible. And it's just, if you understand, sorry, I'm getting frustrated and jumbled here. You don't have to count macros, but I think it's important to have a basic understanding of macros, like the fact that carbs are 4 calories per gram, protein is 4 calories per gram, fat is 9 calories per gram. If you want to go one step further, alcohol is 7 calories per gram. And that way you can look at your food and add it up, and you can have a better understanding, because they're allowed to give you these crazy numbers and they don't add up. And so that's why, if you take a look at, so I didn't eat the Halo Top. I decided instead to eat my one ingredient French fries and use a massive pile of French fries as my carbs for today, and it was delicious. But here, sorry, there's dog hair on my phone now. So if you look, I am short 1 gram of fat and 3 grams of protein. So if we do quick math there, so 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, 3 grams of protein would be 12 calories. So that should be 12 plus 9 is 21 calories that I'm short for my day, okay? Tell me why my Fitness Pal says I still have 42 calories left. Even with my foods, and I ate mostly normal, close to 1 ingredient foods today, except for the Eggos. I had some Eggos today. There's that disconnect, and I could go through here and try and find where that disconnect is. But so it's saying that I have 42 calories left over to eat today, but it's not true. And so that's why I prefer macro counting over caloric counting, because I like to be more precise and on top of things. So there's my little rant for today. There was an article, it might have been Eric Helms. Let me see if I can get this information for you real quick. Listen.
Greg Nuckols just wrote a really great article. Well, actually, every article he writes is really good. But it was on nutrition labels and tracking, and is that accurate, and kind of all the math, nerdy stuff behind it. Nutrition labels are allowed to have up to 20% inaccuracy either way, so up higher or lower. And he did a bunch of math to break it all down, and even if there are inconsistencies within your foods, over a month, it really doesn't add up to be. I'm going to post up the link, swipe up so you can read it, read his words. He's way better at articulating things than I am. But I would say that, one, the main takeaway is if there are inconsistencies, they will probably even out over time. But 2, there is kind of one caveat. This is my take, not something that he wrote in the article. The only time that I find that this can get really funky is when people start to eat a lot of really low calorie or no calorie foods. And they try to put this into their diet and they're like, I can't. Sometimes people get low calorie, they panic, and they're like, oh, well, if I fill the void with like low or no calorie things, then I'm still going to make progress. But really, a lot of times those like low/no calorie things, if you're smothering your food in it or eating that as a lot, it really, my experience as a coach.
So she basically goes into like what I just said about how there can be that wiggle room, and how if you're eating a lot of things that are saying that they're low to no calorie, or they're using these weird ingredients and things like that, how those things will add up, and they're allowed to not count them. And so I forget there's a threshold also where if it's below a certain amount, they can claim no carb, or if it's below a certain number of calories, they can call it no calorie. And so, but there's stuff there, and your body knows it's there, whether or not the label says it is. And so, pay attention. This is where it's important to look at the data that you get from the scale, from your pictures, from your measurements, how you feel with the different foods that you're eating. But just remember that advertising wants you to buy foods and to keep buying them and to think that they're the reason for your progress. But this is why, even with flexible dieting, it's important to stick to a lot of whole foods that you know and understand and can recognize what's in them and what makes them up and what they are. And this is why I like to keep my carbs, my protein, and my fats. It's just easier. So that's my quick ramble for today. I'm just gonna throw this up. Sorry, I look like shit, but this is what you got. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.